Hi, I'm Daniel with eTrailer, and today we're going to take a look at and I'm going to show you how to install the CURT Trailer Hitch on our 2025 Mazda CX-50. Mazdas are great vehicles, and the CX-50 here is actually capable of towing quite a lot. So adding a hitch is going to enable you to tow maybe a teardrop camper back here, or you can have accessories like a bike rack like this, or even a cargo carrier. Now with that bike rack set to the side, we can get a closer look at the hitch here. As you can see, this looks pretty good. The cross tubes on this hitch are completely hidden behind the rear fascia, and the Mazda actually already has a panel, so you don't have to do any trimming on the fascia either. This hitch is a 2-inch by 2-inch hitch opening, which is going to fit most of your standard accessories. Now you will need a 5/8" pin and clip to secure those accessories. Most of the time when you get your accessory like a bike rack, it will come with the kit. But I would recommend upgrading to a locking pin just so you have that extra sense of security. Nobody can come by and take it while you're out on the trail. Now on the bottom here, you got these loop style safety chain loops that can easily accept a clevis or an S-hook style safety chain. Now I'll get you a couple measurements that might be useful to you. So from the ground to the top of the inside of the hitch receiver is going to be about 14 inches. So that's a good measurement to know if you want to make sure you don't bottom out when you have a longer accessory back here, maybe like a cargo carrier, when you're going up a steep incline. Now you can also use that measurement to determine if you need a high-low adapter for when you're putting a trailer on. All you have to do is lever your trailer, measure up to your coupler, and then take the difference, and that's the measurement you need for your ball. Now the next measurement is going to be from the center of the hitch pin hole to the outside of the bumper, and that's going to be about 6 inches, so that's good to know if you have any folding accessories like a bike rack and you want to make sure those can fold without hitting the bumper. Now if you're planning on towing, the hitch does have a total towing capacity of 3,500 pounds. That is going to be the trailer plus what's packed inside of it. Now your total tongue weight is going to be 525 pounds, and that is the weight pushing down on the hitch receiver. So that number is good to know if you have cargo carriers and bike racks. That'll help you determine how much you can load those down. Now do always check your owner's manual and make sure you're towing what your vehicle can handle and towing at your lowest rated component. Now there is a difference between the turbo and the regular CX-50s, so do make sure on that as well. If you decide to get this hitch for your Mazda, then please let us know in a review or comment how you're liking it and what kind of accessory you're using with it. Now as far as the installation goes, this is really easy. You're just basically putting bolts right into threaded holes in your frame. But if you don't have the time or tools to do this yourself, you can check out our dealer locator. We can find a professional in your area to get this installed for you. But if you're looking to do it yourself, follow along and I'll walk you through it. First off, we need to remove this panel. This is where our hitch is gonna sit. So before we do that, there's gonna be some push pin fasteners that we need to remove. I'm just using a flathead screwdriver here. I'm putting it in the groove, giving it a twist, and pulling all these out. With those removed, I can pull this fascia down and get to these 2 screws that are securing our panel in place. Let's get a Phillips and remove these. And now to take this out, there's going to be 2 tabs that you can just push in. You can use a tool, or they're pretty big, so I'm just going to use my hand here. I'll just pull one side out, and then the other side, and then just pull straight back, and you're able to get that out. Now we need to cut this middle section out, so I'm just going to tape it off. I'm going to cut. And I'm going to use a oscillating tool to get this cut. You can use a cutoff wheel if you have that. So I'm just going to get this trimmed up. Now, if you have any rough edges, you can just use a razor knife, kind of get those cleaned up. Now there's going to be some tape right over our threaded holes for where our bolts are going to go, and it's going to be right above the exhaust here. And there's the tape covering the hole, and this is the one closest to the front of the vehicle. I'll just get a flathead and get this scraped off the best I can. You need to come back and get kind of the residue off with a knife. That's okay. It is nice they tape these so gunk doesn't get in those threads though. And now we can get the hitch into place. Now this is going to be a lot easier with 2 people, but it's pretty light. So I'm just going to lift this up, support one side and get our hardware started. Each bolt is going to get a conical tooth washer. Just make sure those teeth are going to be facing the metal so it bites in when it gets tight. Now we can tighten and torque everything down. I'm using a 19mm socket. I'm just going to get all these snugged up. Now I'll go back through and torque all of our hardware down to the specs and the instructions. And if you don't have a torque wrench at home, you can usually rent one from your local auto parts store, or you can buy one from us at eTrailer. Now the last thing to do is to put those push pin fasteners back in place. You may have to push out the fascia just a tad to get those to fit properly. And once you've done that, you're good to go. You can start using your CURT Trailer Hitch on your 2025 Mazda CX-50.